Hello guys and welcome back to this tutorial. This will be an exterior architecture visualization, done with Blender 2.82, and Cycles Render Engine, a step-by-step tutorial for beginners and intermediate. In the end of this tutorial you will learn how to model, add lighting, materials and render full exterior scene with multiple shots, so enjoy. Let us continue with the front elevation, adding doors to both floors, starting with the ground floor. Press Shift A and add a cube, 220 cm in height, 100 in width, and snap it to the top stair level. And same as windows, we need to add a Boolean modifier to the walls. Select the cube and make it display as wire to make sure Boolean is clean cutting. Then make a copy of it, move it to Windows Collection, turn back the display to texture. After that, in the edit mode, delete all the faces but the one in front, snap it to the wall, press Ctrl A and apply transformation. Now, simple insert extrude modeling as before. You can also have reference image of a door and model, something you see nice. It is up to you, so here, I inserted first, then I added a loop cut. Extrude to inside by 5. And insert each face by 5. First extrusion seemed big so I moved selected faces to outside by 3 as shown, and finally another insert and extrude by 2. Now, go to Material Settings and assign to the door the same materials we used in Windows. Move the door bit to inside. After that, select both the door and the Boolean cube and press Shift D to copy them to first floor. Select the walls and add another Boolean modifier. In the Object section select the wired cube in the first floor balcony, move it a bit to the top. So, I did scale the door up to fit the wall's heights. The numbers on the right if you want to copy them. .240 in height seems fine. Now, to the right side of the building, we need to add windows. Same thing, same process. First, in the Boolean collection, I added a cube 100 centimeters in length, and copied it in the edit mode so it remains the same object. To demonstrate what we said, in the edit mode, if we want to copy this long cube, just select it and Shift D to copy it. Now if we get out of edit mode, you will see that it stays one object. So, as we say before, if the Boolean doesn't have clean cuts, check intersecting edges, and try to move it a bit. If we need to solve this unclean faces that we end up with, simply adding a loop cut in the middle of the Boolean object will make it look nice. Now, as before, make a copy and move it to Windows Collection. Change the display back to texture. In the edit mode, select all faces that we need to keep as you see, then, press Ctrl I to select inverse and delete those faces, snap the rest to the walls. Press Ctrl A to apply transformation. Now in the edit mode, same inset extrusion process, inset by 10, extrude by 5. Then inset by 2, another extrude by 2, and finally inset by 2. Then to the materials settings, and assign the same materials we used earlier for both the metal frame and glass. Now, move the windows to inside to add kind of depth to the mesh. So this looks nice, I think. After that, to the back side of the building. First, select the two column and join them. Press right-click and move them to the modeling collection. Keep everything ordered. Then, on the left, add two cubes, kinda square faces, and make a copy of them to the ground floor. Now, join the four cubes into one object by selecting them and pressing Ctrl J, then repeat the same process. Select the walls and add a Boolean modifier. In the object section of the Boolean, select the cubes we joined earlier, then turn display for them to wire, make a copy of them with Shift D, turn back the new copy to texture in display, go into edit mode and delete all faces but the ones in front as shown. Snap them now to the walls, and before continue, as always, get out of edit mode and hit Ctrl A to apply transformation. Now back to edit mode, press I and inset faces by 10 centimeters, then press E and extrude them to inside by 5, then another inset by 2, again extrude the faces to inside by 2, and finally inset by 2. Now assign to them the same metal frame and glass materials that we've been using, and move the four windows to inside. So the windows on the first floor are too low, but I am going to leave them like this for now. After that, to the balconies. In the first floor, we are going to add a slide door and 2 windows. Add a cube in that area, make it 400 in width, and place it to the right like shown. Then as before, select the walls and add a Boolean modifier. In the object section of the Boolean select the cube, then turn display to wire. Make a copy of it with Shift D, turn back the new copy to texture in display, go into edit mode and delete all faces but the one in front as shown, get out of edit mode and hit Ctrl A to apply transformation, snap it now to the walls. Now I added a loop cut to the walls to clean the cuts in the walls. Get back to edit mode. Now, while selecting the face, press I and insert by 10, then extrude by 5 to inside. Press Ctrl R to add 3 loop cuts to the face. After that, insert individual faces by 5. Extrude them to inside by 2, and finally inset by 2. Move the door to inside. In the left side of the slide door, add a cube on that area. Numbers are on the right if you want to copy them. Now copy it as shown. Select the 2 cubes and join them with Ctrl J, and repeat the same process. Select the walls and add a Boolean modifier. In the object section of the Boolean select the cubes, then turn display to wire. Now here the cube thickness is a bit small so I moved it to inside. Now, make a copy of them with Shift D and move it to the Windows collection. Turn back the new copy to texture in display, go into edit mode and delete all faces but the ones in front as shown, get out of edit mode and hit Ctrl A to apply transformation, snap both faces to the walls, get back to edit mode. Now, while selecting the face, press I and insert by 10, then extrude along normal to inside by 5, after that, insert faces by 2, extrude them again by 2, and finally inset by 2. Move the windows to inside. Select the slide door and the 2 windows that we made and copy them to ground floor terrace level. We also need to add to the walls another 2 Boolean modifiers to cut the walls in the terrace area, so add them one by one, and in the object section select the wired cubes. One thing we forget is the materials assigning. I am going to back to them later, but you can assign it to them. Now on the roof, I added some loop cuts to make an area 3 by 5 meters. Extrude the face up by 240, then move the left edge to top as shown. In the back face, I added 2 loop cuts vertically and 1 to horizon line. Then fix that last one to make it straight. Select the face as you see, inset it a bit to eliminate any intersection with the floor edge, then, extrude it to inside. This will be the door. I am going to model it. It is not that important if you want to take shot from ground level, but we are going to do it. So as before, bunch of insets and extrudes, add some loop cuts to the mesh. You can always have reference images to work on it. Once you finished with the last inset, go to Material Settings, assign the last face we on as shown to the glass material. Then, add another material and make it the metal frame. While selecting the glass face, press Ctrl+ to select more, then while on the glass material press the deselect button. Now assign to the rest the metal frame material. So, in the front balcony, select the walls, press Tab to enter edit mode, add a loop cut as shown. I am going to select those faces as shown and extrude them to outside. This will add some depth to the mesh, so select the faces, press right-click and extrude them along normal to outside. Now we need to fix the corner vertices and line them up on both axes. Select them set by set, press G and snap them on both X and Y axes to the nearest vertex. And I think if we continue this extrusion along the building might look nice, so, let us select the faces, and extrude them by 5. Now, fix the corners, the same way we did earlier, so I am just leaving you to watch. It might help to be on top view, shortcut for it number pad 7, also wireframe mode will help. By holding Z you can switch between modes. Here we can fix the 2 corner or just the middle. So I fixed the middle. It might change the extrusion value, but a centimeter or 2 won't make the difference in exterior shots. So continue with fixing corners. Here the column hide this area so it won't matter. And finally to this corner, fix it and we are done. Overall look is not bad. We might fix or change small details in the shading phase, but for now, this is good. Still one thing in the backside, the stairs to the terrace. As you see, the terrace is over a meter above the ground, so to add a staircase, put the cursor in the tar. Now make a new collection for the stairs. After that, in the top, go to Edit, Preferences, in Add-ons section, search for Archpack add-on and turn it on. Now from Shift-A go to Archpack and select Stairs, and if you can't see the thumps as in my case, you need to go back to Archpack add-on and render thumps as shown. You should also by now made another copy of the work file. So the thumb render might take a while. I did pause the record until it finished. After that, press Shift-A and select Archpack from Mesh. Select the first stairs option as shown, press N and go to the Archpack setting. So we need to tweak the setting to end up with a 105 height and fit number of stairs. I did turn off the panels and the handrails. I am going to add them along the terrace fence. So to fast the process, I am going to snap it to ground and then edit it to fit. Press R and Z to rotate it by 180 degrees. So sometimes due to have a lot of vertices near each other, snapping become not easy to work with, so I moved it along the axes X and Y and place it in front of the slide door. so editing the terrace railing might take longer than make it again. See what fits you. I did delete the repeated rails as shown. And in the edit mode, add 2 loop cuts to the top one and delete the middle part. Then close the caps with bridge. So the idea here is to make the railing extrude from both sides and ends with the stairs. Simple edit with G to move and with E to extrude. Also, as I said earlier, I deleted the repeated part, but you can edit it. I am going to make it again. Adding a cube like always, place it in mid to the top part. Then, move to corner, extrude by the same length you assign to the cube, and continue like this in every corner. Now in the outside, snap it to stairs ending, move it to bottom. In the other side, you might need to copy the same parameters we assigned to the earlier cube. So, same thing here, move and extrude, reach the end of the stairs, move it down until it fits. We need to copy it, but before that it needs some fixing. From the top, in the wireframe mode, select the vertices and line them up. The problem here is that I made 2 different cubes in parameters, but I am going to fix the view, so don't worry. With vertices, everything editable, but it always right to work clean from the start, so it is my bad. Now that we end up snapping vertices to each other, press Shift D and make 3 copies as shown. Still the top part. To extend it to the stairs, select the faces and extrude them to outside. And then another extrusion to the end of the stairs. Move down until it fits. Now in the top wireframe mode, line them up. Close this vertical part to the top and we finish with the stairs and the building modeling in general. So this looks fine. Don't forget to press Ctrl S to save. Now, let us make a simple landscape, starting with the ground. Go to Mesh and add a plane to the scene. Scale it up, something you see fit. I did move the front edge like 8 meters to outside from the front stairs, and just made the left side area bigger than the right one, so if we have a landscape details with the plan images that would have been nice, but we don't, so we improvise. From the top view, in the edit mode, I am adding a surrounding grass area, 2 meters in width, and just make some kind of movement flow in the area around the building. Delete the faces on the right to make that area smaller, so let us separate faces by materials. The first material is the default floor. Now, I am going to select those faces, and assign to them a new material and name it grass. we just here need another loop cut, and again select this face and add it to the grass material. Now, this face we are on will be the pool area. First, press I and insert it, then press E to extrude it to bottom by 150 centimeters. Now press Shift D to copy the face we are on and move it to top, assign to it a new material and name it water. Press H to hide it. The face down and the inner faces will be ceramic, so assign to them a new material also. The remaining pool area we will assign to it a new material and name it stone. Now, press E to extrude those faces to top, then, go to Edge Selection and select the surrounding edges as shown. Press Ctrl B to bevel it, press and drag your mouse and with the mouse wheeler add smoothness to the area. Now, select the grass faces, press I and inset them by 5. Deselect the inner faces to extrude the rest to top. After that, to add a compound wall, start with a cube, parameters on the right. I end up with a cube 40 on length, and 200 on height. This will be kinds of an exterior decorative column, so let us model it. Simple modeling, add 2 loop cuts. Select the faces as shown and extrude them to inside along normal. These faces inside we will assign to them a light material. So, in the material setting, assign to it 2 materials. First one would be a stone material, the second one we will name it light and assign to it the inner faces. Now, snap it to the corner. Press Shift D to make a copy from it. We might need to be on top view for smoother copying. After copying the first one, press Shift R to repeat the process. Select the last copy, and snap it to the corner. After that, select them all and press Shift D to make a copy to the left side. We also going to add some copies to the front and back area. Now, add another cube in the corner as shown, numbers on the right, 30 in width, and place it mid to the column. Then, in the edit mode, select the face you see and snap it to the last column. Then in the corner, snap those two columns to outside. Also, make some copies in the back side. Now back to the solid wall, move it around the corner with 30 cm extrusion. Switch to wireframe mode for better controlling. After we finish with this, let us add another plane. This will be the sidewalk. (200 in width, and scale it in the other axis to fit the scene. Then snap with the ground plane. Now the thing is, I am going to make it a smooth transition between the street and the ground level, so, I added a loop cut, then selected the opposite edge and move it down by 10. Then added another two edges and bevel the last one, which didn't help that much in smoothing the area, but still, it looked fine. Now finally, to make the street, add another plane and scale to fit the scene as shown. Snap it to the lower level of the sidewalk. assign to the sidewalk the same floor material. And for the street, in the materials setting, just add a new material. And that's it for this part. Stay tuned for the next one. Goodbye.